Well, we got what a hell of a week for Game Pass because it got another incredible game this week. I feel like that's probably the good segue to talk about Expedition 33,
Yeah.
which Jake, Matty, I know you both are playing it. I've been playing it. Alana, have you tried it yet?
No, but I'm really excited about it. And I will say, just off your first comment before we get into the game, it feels a little sucky of me, not of me, sorry, of them, that Xbox had Expedition 33 as a Game Pass game. They supported it. It was in their showcase. And then Shadow dropped Oblivion the day before. Yeah. That's like, if I were that team, I would be bothered by that. Like that, you couldn't wait a little bit longer. Like obviously Oblivion's going to take up a bunch of like the community side of the cycle. And I think that Expedition 3, it's almost like lucky that their review scores are so high because otherwise it really would have gotten buried. And I just can't rationalize why Xbox did that to a game that they promoted that's on Game Pass. Like it just feels so unfair to this like debut game from this dev team.
Yeah, it's really strange, especially because like on the social side of things, you've got both of them like posting little like fan art things of each other, I guess, to be like, hey, you know, we're supporting each other. But yeah,
the publisher called it's like Barbenheimer. I was like, okay, I can get down with this energy a bit.
I mean, I get that, but they're two big ass RPGs, so like, we only have time for one. Like I can't. Yeah. It's I don't know. I hope that like what I'm planning to do, and I hope that other people consider it, is like wait for Oblivion. Like I wanted to play the opening and then I'm going to play the rest of it later. Like I'm glad to hear literally all of you are still playing Expedition 33 because I just feel like that game's so cool and so unique, even from what I've seen of it, that I hope it doesn't get buried by Oblivion. I don't know why they've done it, but yeah. So how is Expedition 33?
Incredible. I think it's
sick.
I think it is. I'm not at the end yet. I'm very, very close. If it sticks the landing, I think it could be one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, It is for me. I'm sure it will be for you. They do stick the ending, in my opinion. It's so good.
Okay, good. Yeah. There's been some stuff that's already happened. First of all, I've cried multiple times.
Yeah,
and I don't
good
really
emotional
do
story.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That damn soundtrack, man.
That
Just
soundtrack's
wrecking me.
Yeah.
I've been texting everyone who I know who's been playing at certain points. Like I sent Jake in all caps, "Where are you in Expedition 33?" message.
And you never do that, but that's when you know. Yeah.
No, I mean, to give like context on what the game is briefly before we jump right into it, it is so every year there's a kind of entity thing called the Paintress, and she paints a number, and everyone that age is going to die. So certain people will spend the last year of their life forming an expedition and going and trying to take down the Paintress so she can't paint any more numbers. And so you're on Expedition 33, as in you, the player, but there's like a team of them, and you basically discover this, the continent, is that what it's called? The continent?
Yeah.
And it is, in terms of the actual combat, it is turn-based combat, but it is like there are quick time events. There are also like parrying and countering, which was inspired by Sekiro because I think he's the creative director, Guillaume. Like he tried to speedrun Sekiro for a while. Like he's an absolute fiend.
Oh,
cool. This makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
the combat to me looks like Sekiro Persona.
Yes.
It's
a great descriptor.
Love it. Sold.
Yeah, and I think the real thing that got me when it came to the combat is just I wasn't thinking ahead to the next turn. I was thinking to the next 2 turns, the next 3 turns, because the way a lot of the characters work, like Lune or Ciel, is that you are basically, so with Lune, she's the mage character, and you use a magic spell and it generates what's called a stain. Those stains can then be used to power up other spells that you have. So some of the combinations means that you can either use some abilities for like no ability points, or it just massively increases the damage. Ciel does a thing where you apply something called Foretell. And so when you have like Sun and Moon Foretell together, you go into Twilight, which means that you're dealing so much more damage. And there are other characters who I won't necessarily speak to, but one of them is kind of my favorite, the legs.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm thinking so far ahead. I'm so engaged every single time it's my turn even to defend, because you're dodging, you're jumping, you're parrying. The gradient parry.
Yes.
Oh my
Style.
god.
Crazy.
So
when
nice.
And also when you get a good parry, like successful perfect parry, and the whole team pirouettes and like dives through the air for this like over the top slow-mo attack. They really nail that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks super stylish from the outside, but it also, am I right in thinking that that at least some of the character design is like very Miyazaki inspired? Like it looks like there's a bunch of Elden Ring, Dark Souls kind of.
There's a lot of bosses that
Enemies?
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like
Yeah.
that's
Love
definitely
that.
what you're
It's like
doing.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
things. It's so creative. It's so cool.
Also a couple of like a boss that'll have a second stage that then like it gets grosser or it takes out a bigger sword. That's the thing about this game that I like so much, is that it is clearly influenced by so many things, right? Like
Final
Legend of
Fantasy.
Dragoon,
Final Fantasy,
Final
with
Fantasy,
the
down to-
overworld map.
like
that.
down to
So
like
cute.
like a lot of the music and like the low key music being like acoustic guitar, like all these little things, and then like, you know, all the Souls inspirations, like all these things, but it still manages to just feel like its own unique thing. Like you can very clearly point out all these things, but like it doesn't distract you. You still feel like you're playing something completely fresh. And what's even more impressive, I think, is that it's like it is structured in like a pretty normal game. Like it's, you know, fairly linear, or, you know, mostly linear areas, all connected by an overworld map, and you play through it. But it's just, I think it's like the context of the story, the characters, and how Lucy described every character having their own like unique thing just really makes it all like round out. Maddie, as an RPG guy, what do you think, like in terms of like how they pace those mechanics out, right? Like they kind of dole them out over time.
Yeah, dude, it's a good week to be me.
You haven't slept, but otherwise.
No, but that's okay. Who needs that? I love how they introduce them, because they usually synchronize it with like really important story moments and the introduction of party members. Like there was a point in the game where I was like, really, I won't say what mechanic it was. I was like, oh my God, there's another thing you're throwing into this combat system. Like at its core principles with like the dodging, deflecting, and jumping, I was like, yeah, that's great. Like you don't need to add any. They could have added nothing throughout all of that, and I would have just been totally happy. But the way they paced it out, I mean, it's marvelous, and it really speaks to just like they knew what they wanted to do every step of the way. And I think it is a good thing for the industry to kind of look at, as, you know, we have a lot of these games. Funny enough, we just talked about one, like these 100+ hour games. There's just been so many of them, and so many of them are really good. But I think there's a place for these smaller games. You know, like I was born and raised on
How long is it?
like 30 hours. I beat it in 33. Yeah.
Oh, you love to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like that's the thing. Is like,
but you can squeeze a lot more
60
juice out of it too.
Yeah, 60, I think, for completionists, they were saying.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Game
yeah. You
Plus
can
and
get a lot
everything.
more out of it if you want to, but there's like this focus where like it's got the 100-hour feel. Like when you're done with it, you're like, I've been on a huge journey. Like these characters have grown so much. I've seen so much. I've felt so much. But your hour clock is like 30 hours. It's like, you know, I kind of equated it in my review to those old BioWare RPGs where, like, you know, I was playing KOTOR or something like that's such a hugely impactful game to me. It's my favorite game ever. It's 20 plus, just about 20 hours long. You know, like that's to me like the sweet spot for RPGs, that 20 to 30 hour pocket. And I love that this game kind of has the confidence to be like, here's the story. We're going to tell it to you in this way that's just going to be the highest amount of impact. And if you want more, there's a lot that surrounds this game. Like you can go into these optional dungeons. You could fight these optional bosses. There's New Game Plus right out the box. Like it's really well polished, just like phenomenal. So yeah, just the
It's staggering
pacing
too.
of all of it. Yeah, it's incredible.
The side content, sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but
no,
like that
you're good.
side content you mentioned, like none of it feels like it's just like a retread or it's like half-ass stuff to keep you busy. All that side stuff is like, whoa, look at this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
like
the one thing
boss
I'm
has their
sad
mechanics.
about, is there's no photo mode. And like, I'm not usually I need a photo mode day one person, but it is staggeringly gorgeous.
Begging for it.
Like,
Everything. From
every
every
single-
character. You pause the menu, the way the characters are hovering, waiting for it to be upgraded.
Luna is definitely a
Everything.
photo mode chick. Like she just got
Oh,
that.
Oh, she's always perfect. Yeah, it's so cool.
Ralph and I this week have just been messaging each other because like he messaged me, he was like, "Oh man, it's got the sauce," and then I was like, "Lune though."
Yeah.
And then
A lot of sauce.
So literally like some of the optional boss fights, the mimes. It's a very French game. You fight a lot of mimes.
Aggressively French, yeah.
They give you customization stuff, so haircuts and outfits and things. And
cool.
Ralph messaged me and he was like, just got a really nice bob for Lune.
I was going to ask, what are the actual RPG mechanics like the actual level up system? Because I know nothing about that as it stands. Like, how do you actually, what variety of skill sets? Like, what does the leveling up actually look like?
Yeah.
So per level, there's souls, attribute points, and also each character has a skill tree. And either also weapons you can level up, no weapon degradation, but weapons level, and you can find items to level your weapons at camp.
Yeah.
Is there a game it compares to?
Of, Maddie, you probably would know better.
What was the question? Sorry.
Like,
is there a game it compares to in terms of like how they actually approach the RPG side?
Yeah, for me it'd be Lost Odyssey. Like they have this whole Pictos system, and Lost Odyssey has like the skill system where you have like mortals and immortals, and you can like link the two together. And if you're like learning a skill in Lost Odyssey, I think the immortals learn the skills from the mortals. I don't remember exactly, but it's kind of similar to that. Like you have these Pictos, and each character can only equip 3. But once you win 4 fights with that equipped, like that effect unlocks for everybody. And then there's this whole other stat section called Lumina. It's like a currency you can spend on those unlocked skills now. So then you can kind of like build craft a bit. Like, oh, I want to have like bonus AP per turn when my turn starts, or this character has a weapon that gives me 2 base attacks. So if I put this Pictos on, that's like, oh, I get +1 AP per base attack. It's like now you're just juicing that base attack or the AP a ton. So there's like a lot of ways you can approach it. Like there was an item I got for Lune that's just like basic attacks give you random stains. So just I was like nuking with her by the end game because I would just get her stains maxed out and I just pull a spell. I'm like, oh, 100k damage. Awesome. Like that was cool. I didn't know I was going to do that. So yeah, that's where I think a lot of the RPG systems lie. Honestly, like the attribute system is there and it's cool. It's there. Like I like that it lets me fine tune. But at a certain point, I was just kind of dumping the points and being like, all right, moving on.
Yeah, I just wish there was auto level on that because, you know, how many party members is it? Like, and then you go in and have to do it individually for each one. It's just like, okay, adding my 3 points every single time. Yeah, that's the one bit where I feel like I would like that to be a little bit streamlined.
I was going to ask, it sounds like the music's great, the art's great, the story's great, the combat's great. Is there anything you guys don't like?
The fucking jumping, the platforming. There's a little bit.
I love that
a lot of it's optional, but
it's a bit strange.
Did you guys do the not like a spoiler or anything, but that optional tower that you can 3D platform all the way up? Did you try that?
Is it in the Harvest? Not in the Harvest Woods.
It's like a gestural thing. They're like, we built this huge tower. If you get to the top, you get an award.
I didn't do that one.
Nope.
I climbed some other kind of tower.
I noped down at the beach. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
I was so impressed that I was able to do the whole thing. I'm like, this is like a great turn-based RPG. It's not like a great like a Mario platform. It was like, I just platformed this whole damn thing. Like this kind of worked. It's just jumping and sprinting and like very basic climbing. But I thought that was a hilarious like showcase of like, wow, this game can just do everything.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
For me,
there's a relationship
slippery
stuff.
Yeah.
Ish.
Little Persona. Yeah.
It's more like social links because they unlock special gradient attacks.
Yeah.
But they're really cute. And I will urge everyone listening and watching, spend as much time with like SK as possible because I think he's just such a cool, unique character. I love him.
At one point, he just goes, "Do you want a hug?" And you're like, "Yeah."
I love how wholesome he is.
Yeah. It definitely it has it just has what was the word you used? Sauce.
It's got the sauce.
It does. The music, the way that it starts is incredible. My only like weird complaint is that the intro and just how it establishes this world and how these people are living with the fact that this like evil ghoul woman Thanos snaps everybody like once a year. The way it sets up like the ramifications of that little society and how beautiful that fractured city looks. I actually like, I want to spend more time in that part. Like they very quickly like expedition. We're going out in this wacky video game world. That wacky video game world is so creative, but I also just want to learn more about that world the world you're essentially trying to save, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. They do drop a lot of like interesting exposition kind of parts about like what life is like back in Lumiere, which I agree I'm really interested in. I also just think that like overall, I think my thoughts are it's such a confident game. And like a lot of
Yeah.
people are saying, yeah, it's 30 people, and it's their first game as a studio. But I think really it just shows that the people who made this game have such a profound understanding of JRPGs, RPGs in particular, because everything about it just works. Like there are love letters to. I mean, when you go to the Gestural Village, and this is early on, that felt like something you would do in a Final Fantasy game. Like you literally go meet the chief of the village, and they make you fight against the like basically your arena Gaiden before you go back out into the world. And like the music and everything just it just feels like this massive love letter to JRPGs, but with a big old French twist.
Yeah, I love how they stylized. They kind of got away from, as a good friend of mine would put it, the weebery. They kind of made it where, like, I'm excited to see how turn-based games grow from this, because like, you know, Persona even or Final Fantasy even are like very popular, but I still think there's like a particular crowd for them, and I feel like this is so AAA, big budget, you know, casual friendly, even like of just like, you know, these big name actors and whatnot filling up the casting list. And I just feel like that with the presentation quality combined, like kind of make it where this is going to get a lot of people in the turn-based games. They're going to like finish this game up and go like, where do I go to next? And that's what Persona 5 did. For me, Persona 5 Royal was like my favorite real turn-based game for years. And then this kind of took the crown from it. I was like, this is like the next like gatekeeper, where it's like, you know, this is going to get so many people into it, but like, who's going to top this? I don't know how you top it. Like, that's how good it is. I'm like, I don't know how you top it. It's really
This
impressive.
is definitely Game of the Year contender.
Oh, 100%. Oh my God.
It's up there. It's up there in at least like my mental top couple, you know?
Yeah.
How did you feel about difficulty?
Oh man. So this is where I can show my, you know, how I am. I found it brutal. I got through it, but it was fucking not nice. It's like my timing, I guess, like my reflexes are just so shit. The game asks a lot of you in terms of reading animations, some animations that are really designed to throw you off, some that are just outright kind of a little hard to read. But your timing has to be so pinpoint and exact. That's where that Sekiro influence comes in, where it's like, you're like, what are you talking about? This isn't a Souls-like game. But like when you see those brutal timings and like the back-to-back repetition of how many times the game's like, no, fucking deflect this, and then you don't. And it's like, I said deflect this. Like, it's not really like an optional, you can't just like mosey about it. Like, I thought that was going to be the case, but you have to take it very seriously. There are multiple difficulty options, but playing on normal, I found it pretty tough. Am I an outlier? Am I a baby
I thought it was
boy?
tough, dude. There's like some bosses late game that are like, yeah, because the game trains you a little bit. They're like, here's one hit. And you're like, okay, the most you'll probably do to me is 3. This is turn-based, right? But then by the end of the game, I'm like, fucking relax, dude. That was like 8 in a row. I can't dodge all of these. And you just dropped another party member.
Everything. Like, it's crazy.
Because it tells you sometimes where it's like, you know, thing will do a leaping attack or something. And then by late game, it's like, this enemy will do an exhaustive combo. And like, Jesus Christ. And a dodge has a more lax window than that you can get a perfect dodge. And then the parry has the same timing as a perfect dodge. So it's basically like the roll of the dice on, hey, I can do a dodge and I'll probably be safe. I might land a perfect dodge. So if I have Dodger, which is a great early game picture, so you get like AP back. Or I can risk it all because I mean, I'm at the point where I've build crafted all of my team to get health back on parries, and counterattacks are buffed into infinity. I also have like a heal share on them, so they like, it is in my best interest to be parrying all the time. However, it is the bigger risk reward, because if you get hit, it can be rough.
Yeah.
But I love how it does reward the gambler when you get one of those perfect parries and you like crush a nice chunk of their. That's where like they want to addict you. They want to hook you in, and it works.
I did one that was so crucial. I was getting my ass completely handed by me, and I landed this parry off this counter of this series of consecutive attacks, and I landed the final one, and I got the counter attack, and I stood up, and it was literally like the who do you think you are? I am. I mean, I said this on GameSpot, I said it before. I think the countering and parrying absolutely shits on FromSoft's landing a riposte. Like I think in terms of game feel, I think in terms of battling that risk reward, like everything comes together. I've never felt kind of so empowered as a player, like, and rewarded for taking a risk.
Yeah.
And it's just, it just feels so
Yeah,
really
it's cool as hell because like those end game bosses, like you can go and do them if you want at a really early level. Like it's just a skill based turn based game. So like you just like, can you dodge it all? Like I before the final fight, I like went and fought this random boss that I was definitely under level for, but I didn't get hit the whole time. So I just kept like chipping him away. And by the end, I got this really like powerful level 25 weapon. At least that was really powerful to me at the time, where I was like, oh shit. I was like, I definitely was a little bit ahead of the curve there. And it felt good. It like rewarded me. It's like, yeah, you were good enough to do that. So like now you're a bit ahead. So the game's not afraid to reward you if like you decide to just like be bold in that way. And I love that about it. You know, it just makes you feel, like you said, Lucy, just very powerful when you're playing it.
I'm a simple man. I've gone on record a lot about how much I like things like the Order 1886. I like games where you have a sword and a gun, a cool mustache, a cool jacket. I'm in. So they succeeded.
I was going to say, it really does have all those things. And yeah, we haven't really touched on performances, but I mean, exceptional cast. I think they do such an amazing job. I also think like it hits a lot of huge emotional beats. And obviously it's a game about grief. Like what else are you going to, I mean, what else is your game going to be about when people of a certain age, like all of them just gomage away every year, and that's your life. Like, you know, basically when you're gonna die. And some of the performances, like all of them, are just excellent. And like I'm excited for every battle, but I'm excited for every cutscene.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, honestly,
Agreed.
Everything aside, like what goes on in this game, would you guys like to see more in this universe? I know I would, just because I like how they drop all these little other expeditions. Like you can pick up notes essentially and read about other failed expeditions. And I know I like a game when I'm poring over every little text I pick up.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I didn't even think about it, but yeah, previous expeditions and kind of going on with them, because some of them are kind of name dropped more than others.
Yeah.
I think I would just love to see what they do next.
I think the fact that it's called Clair Obscura Expedition 33 would imply to me a franchise.
Hope so.
Otherwise, why have the prefix? Why would you not just
My
call it
hot take is I
Expedition
think it's a
33?
one-off. I do think they're gonna there'll be more from this franchise in particular, but I don't know if it'll be the same, is what I would say.
Do you think maybe it would be like Clair Obscur something else, not Clair Obscur Expedition?
Yeah, their
69
Final Fantasy
or
roots
whatever?
are so strong that I'm just like, I could see them just being like, you know, what Final Fantasy did. Like, we're just gonna uproot, new cast, new everything. Similar,
what would be
like,
the one
mechanics.
thing that would let me ask you, what would be the one or two, like, you know, like the things in like chocobos or like things that carry over from Final Fantasy from game to game? What would it be for this?
And SK.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Good answer.
Those are good too. Yeah.
Gestural for people listening are like, they're like little, like if you ever took an art class, like the little wooden mannequins for posing for like sketching, but they have little paintbrush heads.
And they're brutally
and
honest.
they talk like French minions.
It's so French.
No, let's not tar them with that brush. The minion brush.
Minions are like good, I guess, right? For most people.
People love the minions.
Yeah, the mums on Facebook love the minions.
I heard all of the swear words in the game are also in French, like even though the characters are English, every time they swear it's French, which I think is very cute.
I think I heard a fuck at one point, but it's mostly French. I also in terms of like carrying on the franchise, I would not be surprised if this gets optioned for TV or movie.
I believe it already got picked up.
Well,
somebody already is on that.